Have you ever noticed that some people don't learn until it's too late? They see someone crash and burn right in front of them, and for some reason they think, yeah, but that won't happen to me. Today we're going to talk about one of the most important lessons about ego, survival, and how to learn from other people's mistakes. Welcome to the Metaphor Mindset, where old wisdom meets new psychology. Trust me, this story will change how you think about humility, power dynamics, and the voices in your head that keep telling you you're special. So, think about this. A lion, a wolf, and a fox are going into the wild to hunt together. This is strange right away, isn't it? A wolf or a fox isn't necessary for a lion. The lion is at the top, the monarch. But here's the thing. Even the most powerful people sometimes go along with the group. It could be loneliness. It could be curiosity. It could be because the old saying, "There's strength in numbers," is true. The lion, even though it's a lion, decides to go along with these two. He is a little bit embarrassed, to be honest. I mean, picture yourself as the CEO and having to drive the interns to work. He does it anyway, though, because sometimes working together is better than being alone, even if you're the best person in the room. They go out into this huge area, and their teamwork really works. They are able to catch a wild goat, a mountain ox, and a fat rabbit. Not a bad day's work, huh? The lion's presence made everything happen. His strength, his plan, and the fact that he scares people. Without him, the wolf and fox are just two hungry animals looking for scraps. But with him, they are eating like kings and queens. This is where things get interesting. This is where the messy, beautiful complexity of human psychology comes into play. As soon as they get their prizes back to the forest, the wolf and the fox start to figure things out. You can almost see the wheels turning. They're thinking about splitting up, about being fair, about what they should get. And the lion, being the lion, knows it. Their greed is like the heat that comes off of asphalt in July. True power doesn't just see what people do, it also reads what they want to do. Before anyone even says anything, it can feel the energy change in a room. But the lion doesn't say anything. He's smiling on the outside, but what's going on inside? He is writing things down inside. Really, he thinks. You're worried about getting your share when you're standing in front of me, someone who could change your whole life in a second. It's like when you give someone an amazing chance, and instead of being grateful, they start asking for more right away. The nerve is almost amazing. The lion then decides to put them to the test. Okay, you split this up, he says to the wolf. Let's see how you see justice. And the wolf, oh man, the wolf just walks right into it. He puffs up his chest and says, well, obviously the ox is yours, great lion. You're big, and so is it. That makes sense. That goat is medium-sized, so it's mine. The fox can also have the rabbit. Perfect fit. Do you hear it? Do you hear the ego in what you said? The wolf just got a piece, in front of the lion. He thought to himself, I matter here, as he looked around. I deserve this. That's when everything goes wrong for him. The look on the lion's face changes. Hold on. What did you say? Do you think you get a piece? While I'm standing right here? And at that point, the wolf's whole plan falls apart. Everything about him, his point of view, his greed, and his sense of self-importance, falls apart. The lion makes it very clear that the wolf's way of thinking does not fit in with this situation. The wolf's ego is basically gone from the equation. It has been completely silenced and is no longer part of the conversation. The lion now looks at the fox. It's your turn. Show me how you would split this up. And what about the fox? The fox just saw what happened to the wolf's whole way of seeing things. He saw how quickly things can change for someone when they don't read the room right. The fox bows down and says, the ox is your breakfast, great one. You can have the goat for lunch. The rabbit is your dinner. All of it. He gives it all. No deal. No, but what about me? Just giving up your ego completely. The lion is very impressed. In fact, I'm more than impressed. He's gone. Where did you learn to think like this? He asks. The fox answers with perfect wisdom. From the wolf's fate. That's the whole point right there. That lesson will help you keep your job, your relationships, and your sanity. Take lessons from the mistakes of others. You don't have to touch the hot stove if you can see someone else get burned and say, yeah, I'm good. Let's bring this into your life, into our world. Think about the way people work today. You have someone who questions the boss's choices in public, makes everything a power struggle, and challenges them on every little thing. Then, all of a sudden, that person is gone. They get new jobs, let go, pushed away. Everyone else in the office just watched a masterclass on how not to do things. People with fox minds write things down. They change. They know that it's not about being a doormat. It's about knowing what's going on in your environment and not letting your ego get in the way of what you can do. Or consider social media. We see influencers fall apart in real time. They say something tone-deaf, double down, argue with their fans, and then they get canceled. Everything they stand for falls apart. And the ones who are smart and live, they're keeping an eye on things. They are learning. They're saying, okay, got it. Don't do that. This is evolutionary psychology happening at the speed of the internet. There is really interesting research on this. This is known as observational learning or social learning theory. Albert Bandura changed psychology forever when he showed that people can learn from things without having to go through them themselves. We can learn from other people's mistakes by watching them. That's how we survived as a species. You didn't have to be eaten by the saber-toothed tiger to know that it was a good idea to run away from it. You only had to see Grog get eaten and think, I should stay away from Grog's mistakes. But this is what makes the story even more interesting. It's not enough to just learn from your mistakes. It's about letting go of your ego. The fox knew something deep. When you are around real power, something bigger than you, your ego needs to step aside. And this doesn't mean you have to be weak. It means getting smart. The fox got everything, not because he begged, but because he knew how the game worked. This makes me think of something else. That part in The Matrix, when Neo stops trying to be the hero and just becomes the one. He stops fighting the system and putting his ego first, and in that surrender, he finds his true power. Or think about the movie Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. Daniel thinks he knows better and that he should learn the cool moves right away. But Mr. Miyagi teaches him that to be good at something, you have to be humble first. What we're talking about in terms of neuroscience is the default mode network and task-positive networks. Your DMN is always telling you a story about me. It's your ego talking to you, telling you who you are and what you deserve. But you really learn when you can quiet that down and look at things without always thinking about yourself. That's when you change. That's when you make it through. The wolf's problem wasn't that he was dumb or bad. He couldn't turn off his ego long enough to see what was going on around him. Instead of, what's actually going on here, he thought about the situation in terms of, what's fair to me? It's like going to a funeral and complaining about the food. You might have a point, but come on, read the room. And this is what makes this important for everyone who is watching. We're all in rooms that we don't understand. We all have wolves and foxes in our heads. The voice of the wolf says, I deserve this. I put in a lot of effort. I should get my part. The fox voice says, let me see. Please teach me. Let me be smart about when to stand up and when to give in. The fox voice is popular in today's world, not because it's about being weak or submissive, but because it's smart. It's about recognizing patterns. It's about not making the same mistakes as other people. You see your coworker not get promoted because they couldn't control how they acted? That's information. You see a friend's relationship fall apart because they wouldn't say they were sorry even though they were wrong? That's some information. Do you know someone who lost everything because they took too big of a risk on a bet? That's education you didn't have to pay for by destroying your own life. The fox gave up everything and got everything, which is a beautiful irony. The lion praised him for being wise, humble, and able to learn. The lion said, you're not just a fox anymore because you understand. You are now one of us. That's what happens when you learn to control your ego. You don't lose anything. You gain something. You go beyond the small math and enter a whole new level. This is what high achievers know. The ones who last, who build empires that last. They aren't the loudest people in the room. They are the ones who watch, adapt, and learn from every failure they see. They see other people's mistakes as free lessons at the University of Life. So, this is your homework, and I mean it. Start a journal of your failures, but don't write about them. About other people. If you see someone make a mistake at work, in a relationship, or in business, write it down. What did they do? What happened as a result? What would you do differently? You're basically making a list of things you shouldn't do, and that list is worth its weight in gold. And leave your ego at the door. Not because you're not great, you probably are, but your ego is a terrible guide. It will take you right off a cliff while claiming it knows a shortcut. The wolf thought he was being honest. He thought he was helping. He didn't realize that his point of view was the issue. Don't be the wolf. Be the fox that learns from what happens to the wolf. Don't forget that you don't have to learn everything the hard way. That's not noble. It's just not working. See people crash. Write things down. Change your course. Stay humble enough to learn from the pain of others. That's not cold. That's smart. That's how to stay alive. That's how the metaphor mind works. If this point of view made you think of something, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next mind-blowing idea. And please, pass this on to someone who is going to be the wolf in their own story. You might be able to keep them from having to learn the hard way. Until next time, keep being curious, humble, and learning from the mistakes of others. Peace.